Nice to see you again for the next fishing trip, and this the latest one is a bit of a compilation. It's a lifelong obsession with roach, commonest British fish, and these days seems to be a bit underappreciated. The carp seems to have taken over as angling's #1 obsession for the UK, coarse angling that is. But I've always had a great deal of respect from the roach. Absolutely love them. They're beautiful fish and most obliging. They'll feed in the coldest weather, and sometimes can be a bit tricky, especially trying to find a big one, as you'll see from my video compilation. This is a few clips going back to October and demonstrating the difference between the how freely they'll feed in October and it starts to get a bit more difficult in the winter, and this should be illustrated with this video. But even the sessions where it's been a bit of a struggle, it's been a great pleasure for me. Always appreciate the roach, and hope you do too. So enjoy. Thank you. A little bit of quiet roach fishing on the local lake. I say quiet, it's quite noisy. It's a park, it's Sunday afternoon. I'm hoping it'll get quieter because the weather's due for closing in and getting quite wet, so touch wood, that should make it a bit more peaceful. I've got a spot relatively out of the wind and the roach are biting on caster now, so 2 little ones so far. First 2 cast, 2 bites, so all good so far. Another bite then. It's a shoulder caster. I don't know, you just get these lads wandering around, can't stop shouting. Strange mentality. Another bite straight away, which I'm not sure why I didn't connect with that really. It's shoulder caster though. How it manages to get into that tangle just purely through being retrieved is beyond me. In the setup I've just got 2 small shot there. I think that's a number 6, that's a number 8, and there's another shot near the float, which it's a weighted float to start with, so it doesn't take much shot. Little weighted antenna float, which I'll just show you. There we go. Semi-sliding rig. I've just got about 18 inches of it sliding. There's a stop shot there and float stop there. I think we're in about 6 or 7 feet of water at the moment. There's no point going any further out because it'll just get more difficult to see the float, especially as the light goes later. So I'm quite happy with that depth really. There it goes again, and this time we got him. Another little one, but the same size. As time goes by, it should be possible to get some slightly bigger roach, I'm thinking. Just got a wet rag here to damp my hand on before I handle the fish. Barbler suit, so it's straight off, no problem. So I think virtually every cast so far I've had a bite, missed 2 and had 3. I'll cast her on again. So a couple of learning points, things I've picked up on while I've been fishing for roach in this still water over the autumn and the winter. Obviously the first one, I suppose I already knew that, the dotting down, keeping the float as low in the water as possible, and just so it's just on the point of buoyancy and the fish feels the minimum resistance when it pulls it down. That's quite important. Seems to be less of a problem if you've got a fair chop and a bit of wind and ripple. Obviously you want the float to stand up a bit higher to actually see it above the wave tops, and the fish seem to take a little bit bolder in those conditions, if you can find them, that is. Again, on the subject of finesse, very small hooks, certainly for maggot and castor, and if you're fishing with bread, flake or punch, maybe start small and work bigger. But I've definitely noticed a difference using, in desperation, putting a big hook on as the lights go in and you're in a bit of a hurry, and the first packet you come to is not the ones you wanted, and you put it on anyway. And tends not to work very well a lot of the time. Regular feed, keep it going in the winter, very, very small quantities. Again, regular, but if you're not getting bites, don't feed at all. If you are getting bites, feed to the bites. Every time you get a bite, put a few maggots in or a little blob of liquidized bread or whatever you're fishing with. But it is quite easy to kill a swim altogether by overfeeding in the winter, so it's a question of less is more. And at any time of year, the period around sunset seems to be very good, and in the winter maybe 3 o'clock through till 4 o'clock or 4:30, depending on what time the dusk falls. A little bit later in February. That seems to be a good time. On this particular water, it seems to be quite coloured a lot of the time, and the actual part of the day where it's going dark and getting difficult to see the float, the bites seem to drop off anyway. I think it's something to do with the colour of the water. It'd be interesting if I tried the small pond nearby, because that's quite clear, and I wouldn't mind betting you carry on getting bites into the dark, maybe using a quiver tip rather than a float with a starlight on or something like that. Do the roach get bigger as you fish further out and into the deeper water? Well, not necessarily. So far in my experience, I've had quite a few of the better fish. I'm not saying big ones, but the better quality ones of £1/2 pound or so. I've turned up quite close into the margin, strangely, on the inside of the feed line. More so when I've used a little portion of lobworm, usually trying to search out a bream or a perch at the end of the session, or a bit of a bonus fish, and strangely a better quality roach often takes the worm. That's something I've read quite a lot but wanted to try it in practice, and that's the difference between using maggots and casters. Red maggots known for being good for roach and other species too, but I tried casters quite a lot, and that first session I tried casters exclusively. The rumours are that, or the established knowledge is that casters, you need to sort of introduce them quite early and let the fish take the time to come round to getting on them, so to speak. So it's not really an instant bait, it's something that you feed a swim and leave it at least an hour before you start fishing the casters. Now, on this occasion, strangely, they were straight onto it. I only had casters with me through a bit of a management error on the setting up tackle front. I'd left them at home, the maggots. So I only had casters, that was the only choice of bait, and the fish seemed to be just straight onto them. So everything you read in the books, it's as well to back it up with experience, because it doesn't always work out that way. Now a little perch turns up. And again, slightly better stamp. Moving into that shallow swim now. pressure, keep the bait going in. Just a few casters at a time. And I'm feeding both lines all the time too. I think I might try the line in front of me, the further out line, with the lift method. Let's see if that brings us a bigger one. Oh. The little ones are still coming thick and fast here. Just one after another. Really feeding hard there now. One perch, one skimmer bream, otherwise all roach. Not certain whether I've still got a bait on. Oh, yes, yeah. Oh, certainly haven't now. Oh, a bit too quick then. Oh, taking it on the chase. It's funny that how often these fish will take the bait as you're retrieving it. Not a bad one either. When you think of natural presentation, yet 10% of these fish actually come to the retrieved bait, even when it's not a lure that should be moving, you know, just casters. I mean, they don't swim in nature, they just sit there. And yet, these fish will chase them. And again, I'm interested. Oh, there's another little tiny one. I haven't been counting, but I must have been past 20 by now. Just like shelling peas at the moment. It's just the right sort of autumn day, nice and overcast. And a bit of colour in the water, so they're not too shy. They're obviously finding the bait no trouble. It is just absolutely stacked with fish out there. Well, I know for a fact these bigger roach are in here, although I can't seem to catch them. I know that carp fishers had them close on to 2 pounds, so they're definitely out there. Whether I have to resort to putting a feeder out at long range may be something to do with fishing in the margins, but I don't know. I'm going to keep trying anyway. Okay, so it's a bite of choke at the moment. Despite the wind, just making it a bit difficult to cast sometimes, as the wind seems to be predominantly blowing from behind me, but at times it's gusting in like all directions at once, so not making it easy. If it gets too bad, I'll change to the swim feeder, but having some fun with the float at the moment. Nothing big, just small roach, but they pretty well come in every single cast. And just to the right there, I've got one bit of a line baited up, and I've got a slightly further out line right in front of me. Really get them out with this throwing stick. A bit of chrome and the end of a sweeping brush handle glued on. Looks fine. It's a slightly better one on the caster. Oh yeah, another nice roach. Yep, quite a bonny one that. Still no big ones though, just okay size but no big ones.
Excuse me,
Yep.
have you caught anything?
Just a couple of little roach, that's all. There's another. Oh, that's a nice one. Is that the one? That's a
You
fish.
caught one there.
Yeah,
You
nice
caught
roach,
one. I saw it.
There we go. That's a nice fish, that. Very nice.
That's a big one.
That's quite a bonny one. Very bonny roach. Beautiful winter fish.
What fish was that there?
That's just a roach, that.
Oh, what, sorry?
A roach.
A roach, alright, I just wondered, just saw it in the
Commonest
yard.
fish in the British Isles and probably the most beautiful.
Right.
Look at that. Lovely, isn't it?
You get plenty. Oh, yeah, they are small, aren't they?
Oh, that's a good one, that's quite a big one for it.
Yeah.
Usually like sort of 4 or 5 inches long, but that's a
Right.
nice one. Yeah.
I've just been nosy. If you don't ask, you don't get to know, do you?
Oh, that's nice. You put it in there.
Yeah.
There he goes.
Ah, brilliant.
Oh, look at that. Off the box.
Yeah. Alright, thank you.
Thank you. Stick through the tackle setup. You've got a sliding waggler float. I'm not sure what the weight is, to be honest. I've got a bit of a bolt shot. Quite a sensitive one actually. I don't want to taste an awful lot of weight. We've got a BB shot there just above a swivel. I've got number 4 dropper shot. Again, quite crude really, but it's working. And 2 pound fluorocarbon hook length. The main reel line is 3.2.
Have you caught any fish?
Yeah, a couple of roach. A nice roach.
Come on, Owen.
That's a roach.
I've put them back now, I've not got them. Put them back in the water. Smell them. Just a few little rolls.
Yeah. It's nice to see people on centipede.
Yeah.
Yeah, not many people.
I don't know, it might be a
missed.
mistake with this wind.
I didn't realise there was a boat fishing on a fly reel.
Yeah, it's not a fly reel, it's a centre pin that kid.
Oh yeah.
It's the same. Yeah, I know what you're saying, man.
Very similar, I know what you
Yeah.
mean, they do look the same. But
Have you had anything?
centre pin doesn't, fly reel doesn't run free like a centre pin. I've had a few roach, yeah. Have you?
Nah. Terrible.
Been after the carp?
Nah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not my rig.
Well, if you blank carp, and it's not a problem, blanking roach, is it?
Yeah. But is that what you've made the fishing for?
Yeah,
Just
just
the
silver.
silver. You'll get the. Yeah. Right. To do it anyway.
Alright, all the best. Good luck.
Have good luck.
Something I should have mentioned on the under the heading of dotting down, float with a very fine tip seems to produce bolder bites, probably because the surface tension is less when it actually gets pulled under. A thick top float will drag a little bit in the surface tension and therefore be more detectable for the fish. Although obviously a thicker top float is easiest to see, especially in the failing light. and the poor light we get a lot of the winter.
Turn out back a bit. There he goes. Yeah, well, not a bad stamp. Quite nice roach. Just about to swing it. About at all. Feels like slightly better one there. Yeah, it is. A nice roach. After a period of very little activity. Oh, that's a bonny one. It is indeed. I think that's probably one of the better ones we've had this winter. Lovely winter roach, look at that. Yeah. Gorgeous looking fish that. Absolute minter. A few of those will go down very nicely. Have we got chewed? Yeah, one maggot chewed up there. Seems to be the reds they want. I'll cast here and then we'll have a shot at the river, I think. There we go. Nice little bump. Just let the a bit slack. There it goes. Two bites. A bit tentative on the swim feeder. Soft one. And yeah, I think we are. Little roach. Yeah, 1 or 2 knocks on the swim feeder. Not my favourite forward fishing, but the wind and tow is just making float fishing very difficult at the moment. There we are, little roach on the feeder. Oh. Triple maggot. Something I'm not really much into, using one of these maggot feeders. And looks like I've got fish in front of me anyway. That Gross Gardens roach ground bait. Unlike me spending money on ground bait. I'll put a tiny bit in the feeder, top it up with maggots, clip it shut, just a few maggots every time. Let's see if we've got a bigger one. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the issue and hopefully I'll see you again very soon. Thanks for watching, please subscribe and give us a like, totally free. Take care, bye bye.